In the last episode of Sailing Free Spirit, we had a very gentle, wind-free few days from Oban to Tobermory, where we saw lots of dolphins. We explored the caves on Staffa, enjoyed nature's shower room at Malcolm's Point, and made our way to Port Ellen. In this episode, we explore Islay, Belfast, and we continue south. Well, here we are at Islay, at Port Ellen, and we're on another mission. We're on a finding diesel mission, which remarkably is not too hard again. I was rather pleased to find out that the garage up the road does these containers, and you just have to carry it yourself. So we're going to go and get container number 2. And fill up with diesel. Other things that you always have to consider when you're on a journey, when you have people with you, such as the lovely Nina, who today is carrying the diesel carrier. There we go. Is, can we get enough water? Do we have electricity? Are there going to be showers? Well, there are no showers here today, and there's no toilets either, but up the road there is a toilet block, and thankfully we have a water supply, which means we've been able to use our onboard shower again, which was very, very nice. It's the second time I've used it, the first time Nina's used it, and it's actually a very good shower. We don't know why we haven't used it in the last year, but come with us, if you will, while we go avoiding snorting swans and go and fetch some diesel. Just as Nina was walking past this very bus here, we were chatting to the driver, and we're going to buy a £10 ticket to do a route around the island and just see what it's like. So that sounds like a bit of good fun. We're going to go ahead and do that.
This is the fastest we've travelled in about 4 weeks. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
It feels like we're going at about 100 miles an hour. Taking us on our second bus to where?
Port Nahaven.
Port Nahaven.
Where you'll see seals.
See seals, lovely. And then we'll have some time there, yeah?
About 45 minutes.
And then we'll catch your bus back to here.
But we had a fantastic driver, Davey, who told us so much stuff, didn't he? He was
like our own personalised tour guide, answered every question. That's the North Channel between Northern Ireland and Southern Scotland. Apparently can run up to 5 knots.
There's certainly some white horses out there. A few rocks. Right. So we're going to explore Port wherever we are. And we'll take you to the church as well. That's interesting. We're not entirely sure about the truth behind what we were told, but apparently one door is for Port Haven community and the other door is for Port somewhere else community, which is probably really close, but I didn't catch what the man said. And forever, doesn't matter where you're from, you've got to go in your own door. I wonder which door I would have to go in.
Around, it's really, really pretty here. Just so nice.
It's
this is our day. I think you can join the dots. Yeah, just quite chilled. Near the water, but not on the water.
So we're about to get back on our bus in a moment and get on the way back to
Port Ellen.
Yeah,
Or
there you
somewhere.
go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, that's fantastic flat sand, isn't it?
We've had a lovely day around the island. It's been really good.
We had a great day in the sunshine and lovely scenery, but now it was time to counterbalance that joy with some mathematics and passage planning. It's all part of the sailing adventure, and it wouldn't be right not to take you there with us too. It's now 9 o'clock on Saturday evening. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock we want to head from Port Ellen, which is where we are right now, on this piece of paper. Port Ellen on Islay, spelt Islay, we've been saying that wrong all the time. And we want to come all of the way down here to Glenarm. So that's approximately, how many miles? 40 miles, okay? So on average, with 4 miles an hour, 4.5, it's going to take us 10 hours. But we've got some tides to deal with on this particular route. Some very, very favourable tides down here from about 1600. And some not so favourable tides around here up until that point, but these are favourable in so much as they go up to 2 knots roughly, and these are unfavourable in so much that they go only about 1 knot. So I'm going to make the call that we're going to head against light unfavourable in order to get here for 4 o'clock, which is where the strong favourable eventually takes us down, hopefully as far as Glenarm. It would appear that we actually only get 4 hours of favourable tide in the south direction and more unfavourable. So we want to be bailing out at 7 p.m. That's 10 hours after 9. And that's where we need to be wherever we are. So if we are way near Glenarm, if we've been really good, we may consider on towards, not on this chart, but Bangor or anywhere further south. Very important to mention this traffic separation scheme. As a yacht, we have to cross at 90 degrees, and that's the side of the boat 90 degrees to the traffic, which is going that way there, or this way here, and well, I'll explain the 90 degrees thing because it's not your track, it's how the side of the boat looks. It's complicated. But we're going to have a look at this tidal diamond right in the middle there, H. And if we move around this piece of paper, tidal diamond H tells us that our reference here, tidal streams referred to high water at Greenock. Well, we know what high water is at Greenock because we've looked it up. It's either 11:14 in the morning or 23:27 in the evening. And today is about a week before Springs, so we are on neaps, which means we will be using, if you can see that here, this lower figure. NP is neaps. This is the angle the tide will be going in relation to high water, and this is the speed the tide will be going. So like I said, we've got like 1.1 knot there, 1.4 knots, so it's not too strong, but it's worth thinking about. Okay, back to our upside down piece of paper. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to draw my line that I want to go through, and at this particular moment I'm going to ignore the traffic separation scheme because I want to just get a rough estimate. We'll get more accurate with that later. A nice line, that's where I want to go. We know that we are leaving at 9 o'clock, and we know that we average 4.5 miles. So using my dividers, 4.5 knots an hour, I'm going to mark that up there to 4.5, and I'm going to come from Port Ellen, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 5 hours. I'm just going to extend that down to there a little bit. So we've got, forgive my dodgy camera angles as well please, 5 hours. To get to there, that would be 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Looks like we might be getting there a bit early, because I don't want to be there until 1600. But we've got some unfavourable tide pushing us around. Back over here. So I'm looking at this. High water is at 11:14. So let's say that it's going to be 2 hours before, which is 9. That would be 10:14. So 2 hours before, we have got a set of 105 degrees, an angle of, sorry, and a speed of 0.7 knot. At 10 we've got a set of 4 degrees and a speed of 0.1 knot. At high water at 11 we've got a set of 301 degrees, 0.8 knot. Then we've got after, which is 298 degrees, 4.3 knot, so we've got to go direction, and that's going to be 1.2 knot. Right, well, hopefully you can see what I've done here. I have put all of my water track. If I was to sit my little boat there, and there was no land, and taking into account the only bit of tide that I've got information about, which is there, right in the middle of this piece of water, my boat would drift there for a little bit, up there, and then it would go that way, all the way to there. It would end up in Lagan Bay. But thankfully, because I'm under sail, I'm not going to end up there at all. I'm going to end up somewhere down here. And what we do now, to find out which way we need to steer, we want to be there, in about 5 hours. Draw a lovely little line down there. We call that our water track. I'll put my 3 arrows on there to call it my water track. And now I want to mark off 4 hours of distance from there. And find out what angle that is. So the course to steer, there's the direction of my boat. North is up at the top. I've lined up this compass with a vertical or horizontal line. My answer is 167 degrees. True. True. We need to do some more calculations to work out what that says on my compass. All in all, we spent about an hour just making sure that we had all our calculations correct. And then at 10 PM, headed off to bed, ready for the next day's adventure. Alright, final check on the weather. Tells us that we're going to have occasionally very poor visibility. So, the satellite, not satellite, what's it called there? Woo, radar, thank you, is back in place. That's still up the top there, there he is, that's still up the top. The dinghy's tied away, the fenders are in, we've got water, gas, need to turn the gas off. Reach in here, turn it off with my little finger, there we go. That's the shower gas off. Galley gas stays on. Anything else? Engine's running, water's coming out the back. I think we're good to go. Able Seawoman Nina, are the bow lines ready to slip? Stern line is slipped. Reverse is selected. Let's slip the bow line. And let's see if we can make the boat go the direction in reverse that we want it to. Negative. There is no port steerage. I shall turn to starboard. The thing that makes reversing a boat difficult is something called prop walk. That is essentially the force of the rotating propeller pushing the water sideways rather than forcing it backwards past the rudder. Moyana has a 3-blade propeller, and when she goes into a stern, her back end will kick strongly to the starboard side. And that is exactly what is happening here. I just can't go to the port. Engage main thrusters. Well, Nina's just plotting our position. We had a bit of a land breeze, I think, this morning that was pushing us along quite nicely. All 3 sails up. Anyway, that's disappeared. And the forecast says we'll get variables 2. Not 2 as in as well, as in force 2. So that's why we weren't going anywhere. We've got the engine on. We definitely need to make the point just east and south of Rathlin Island. I can see Rathlin Island just emerging out of the mist at the moment. And in fact, I can see Northern Ireland emerging slightly as well, which is nice. So we're still holding our course that we plotted, 166. It seems to be about the right track. We're doing good. I don't know if you can spot it, but there is Rathlin and Northern Ireland. We are just about to enter the TSS now, and there is a tanker type vessel just there, a dot on the horizon. He is 6.2 miles away from us. He's travelling at 13 knots according to AIS, so therefore he will be with us in half an hour. And to find out if we're on a collision course, we need to take a series of hand compass bearings just to see if that changes or not. At the moment, the last 2, it hasn't changed. And just as a matter of courtesy and safety, we let Belfast Coast Guard know that we were about to cross the TSS.
We're on a Belfast Coast Guard. Roger, for information, the TSS is quite busy at this time, so request you proceed with caution and at right angles over.
I think we can quite safely say that he is going ahead of us. Life is good. Who wouldn't want a first mate like this? She can navigate, she can sail, and she can change the gas. Life is indeed good. Well, it's a bit of a misty island. And so we made our way through the mist towards Glenarm, where we bedded down for the night and got ourselves ready for a bus trip into Belfast. We thought an open-top bus tour of Belfast would be a great idea. We thought that before it started raining.
And the seats are full.
Seats inside are full, the seats outside are wet, but we're having a bit of a dry ride here.
Oh, my old Richard back. Not so old actually.
We're off to Ardglass this morning. Here's a question. If the tide is in your favour at 5 o'clock, do you go at 5 AM, 5 PM, or not bother going at all? We've chosen at the morning for the 5 AM. I'm wishing we'd have chosen the sea, not bothering at all. We're about to have breakfast. You can see absolutely nothing outside, it's pitch black, so we're kind of going to wait until a little bit of light comes over the horizon. Sun rises at 6, and then we should head off and make life a lot better.
Yeah, make it feel a bit like it's a normal time. Oh, I thought his milk was gone off then. It's not, it's fine.
Right, see, you can't see a thing out that window. Well, this is us now for the next, I don't know, 12 hours. The weather isn't fantastic. It's a little bit wet, cold, wet hands. But we're on our way from Ardglass we're going to Ardglass from Glenarm. And at the moment I'm just on a compass bearing of about 130. Which is taking us into the mist, and somewhere in that mist ahead of us is a white flashing northerly cardinal, and within 4 miles I should be able to see it, but at the moment I cannot see it, so I'm just going blindly into the mist. Now there's the thing.
For a minute though, I thought we were going up the east coast of Britain again. We've got the sea on this side, and probably like, do you know what I mean? When we went out the east coast of England, we had the sea and the sunrise and the sea, and the land on the other side, obviously. And now we're going the wrong way, so I'm all a bit confused. It is interesting how like the seasons change, because in the past 2 months, this could have been July, but it definitely feels like we're getting towards September, you know? It's much colder. It's kind of fun, really. I like seasons. I love autumn.
Well, according to the chart plotter, we are the red arrow. To our left we can see East Maiden, and to our right we can see the northerly cardinal. Well, let's have a look. Oh, yep. East Maiden's definitely out there. I see no cardinal. See something. Maybe that's it. I see debris in the water. There's been a lot of debris in the water actually. There's a big log earlier. It's about 8 foot long. So I reported that. Don't want anyone else to hit it. And the mist keeps coming and going, so not always easy to see these things. I've got a little bit of company to sail along with today. This fellow's on his way to the Netherlands. Not got a lot of cargo on there though, has he? Woohoo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Force 5! I'm a happy bunny because we've got sails up again, and just the jib and the jigger. All of a sudden, I said to Nina, I said, I'll go lay down for half an hour. I laid down, I don't know, I think she turned the weather app up or something, and next thing I know it's like, get the sails up, we're sailing! And then it's like, oh my goodness! Get the sails trimmed down, we're sailing too fast! And then the waves are all white around us, and this is Force 5 Fury! How you feeling, this? You don't like it? You don't like it? Just get a bit grim at times though. That's what sailing's all about. Making sure you're not going to run aground in the rain, in strong wind, while somebody's lovingly making you a cup of decaf coffee. It's all good. I like it. Well, I think some waterproof gloves would be a great idea, because for all I've got rubber seals on these sleeves inside, got very cold wet fingers, and it tends to seep on past. I do hope that you're getting a sense of these waves. It's amazing the power that is in the sea and the wind, and how we've not really managed to harness it properly. But we're getting there, and I like that idea. Renewable energy. Of course, most of the time we've tried to get renewable energy, it's been broken by the very thing that we're trying to harness. I've seen water turbines smashed to pieces by too much pressure, and I've seen wind turbines go so fast they set on fire. Hopefully none of that will happen to me today. I do need to put a tack in, so I'm going to put this down and call on Nina, if that's okay, honey. There we go. She can come out in the rain.
And so we come to the close of this episode. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the next episode. Please also like and share this video. That helps us take more folks on our journey around the UK with us. And if you fancy joining us a week early for every episode, then why not become a £1 tourist on Patreon? Thank you so much.